Coach will start us off with a quick opening statement. Please raise your hands for questions. Coach.
Yeah, I just say, first of all, congratulations to West Virginia and Neil Brown and those guys. They did an outstanding job. They kicked our butts tonight. There's no other way to say it. They outplayed us, outblocked us, outcoached us. They did everything better tonight, and thus the result. I thought their offensive line, people have been talking about it this year. I thought they do an outstanding job. They had a bunch of those guys back this year. And they kind of got challenged last week. They didn't play as well against Oklahoma, and I thought they came out and obviously played well. They were blocking us all night long, and even when we had free hitters, we didn't tackle. There's several times where their running backs or quarterbacks were in space, and we didn't get them down, and therefore they occupied the clock and kept churning out drives. They had, I remember a 91-yard drive, an 88-yard drive. We just didn't slow them down. The quarterback played really good tonight, throwing and running, and we couldn't keep pace offensively tonight, and in the first half. Therefore, you started getting down and trying to play catch up. I do, on a positive note, our guys continued to play there in the fourth quarter. We moved the ball, hit a couple touchdowns, but obviously too little, too late.
Keegan.
Brady goes and leads a scoring drive, and then you go with Emory the rest of the game. What was the thought behind going with that decision?
Yeah, Brady got banged up. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed on that drive, was kind of wincing a little bit, and we're trying to get him out a little bit earlier, but we were rolling and in that drive, and so I think the last play was his cue draw down to the 1 yard line, and then I think there was some kind of stall in the play. But anyway, so that's when we made the switch, and he got banged up, so we'll have to see how he is when we get back early in the week.
He would have won the rest of the game if he was healthy.
Well, he would have played. Yeah, he would have continued to play. Again, our plan was to play both. Like we've been doing, and if you got a hot hand, we'll stick with you. But again, I thought Emory came in and played great in the fourth quarter and did some really nice things. But I think we'd have played that by ear. Obviously if we went down and scored that drive, he'd probably have another opportunity, and let's see what happens.
Scott.
You knew they could rush the ball. Did you think that they could stop you to the effect that they did?
No, I felt more confident. I thought than we did in the first half going into the game. We never got anything going. Momentum wise, I felt like we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We had a snap over the head. We had a penalty. You're sitting there in some long yardage situations, and it just didn't go our way. Early in the game, 2 3rd shorts we didn't get, and one was a pass, one was a run. Those were big momentum, killers for us. You got to get those. It was 1-on-1 with the safety with Corey, and then they had a good play. We hit Shimon in the flat, and the safety played all the way over the top, made a good tackle right at the sticks. But I think those were big time momentum, because that's when they were scoring, and then we were getting it and not being able to go down and score. So those were two killer drives in the game, and was very disappointing. We had the one drive in the first half, we go down and score, but other than that, we really didn't do a whole lot at all offensively.
The 4th down last week, you got stopped on. This week you decided to punt, but they made you pay both times they had drives.
Yeah. Sometimes you go for it, sometimes you don't. And I thought the reason why tonight we didn't really go for it on 4th was because I didn't feel very confident we were slowing them down. So at least try to make them drive, but they did, and they did. The negative of that is that they occupy the clock 6-7 minutes drives. That you don't even get a chance to do it. I think we had 5 possessions in the first half, and scored on one of them, but it's not, obviously that's not enough when a team is moving the ball and scoring. You have to try to keep up so you can stay in the game.
Last game of the season is next week. How do you keep your team locked in, knowing that you're not local eligible?
Yeah, we're playing for these seniors. We're playing for this team for the future, for next year. We got a lot of guys that'll be back. So there's a lot to play for, and we know we got a good Kansas team coming in there. They're coached well. They've in the last 3 or 4 years, their coaching staff has gone in there and really built that thing up. So we know we'll get a great team that'll be coming in. But hey, listen, we want to compete for championships in the Big 12. So in order to do that, you got to be able to beat some of these teams, and you got to be able to go out there and execute. You got to be able to block. You got to be able to tackle. All those things that we got to do a much better job in.
As a guy that likes dual threat quarterbacks, your thoughts on Garrett Bree? How was he compared to what you've seen?
Yeah, we've watched him throughout the season. I really like the way he plays. He plays hard. He gets after it, and he plays with an edge. And that's what you want from your quarterback, particularly one that is a dual threat. He'll go run and get those tough yards, and makes guys miss in space, and then I think his completion percentage is a little low this year, but I mean, he's got a great arm, and, he made some big time throws, and he's a tough, when he's on, he's tough to handle. And, I also think when you have the running game going, when you can turn and hand the ball to those running backs and they can make plays, and it makes it a lot easier for your quarterback.
You talk about the strengths of this West Virginia offensive line. Outrushed 424 to 153. Jaheim White had a career night. Obviously, C.J. Donaldson was a game-time decision heading into this one. What did a guy like Jaheim do that really caused some difficulties on the defensive side of things?
Well, I think it starts up front. I mean, they were blocking us, and they were getting to the second level, and then the second level, what he did, and he's good at making you miss. He's very quick. He's short. He's low to the ground, compact, and he sticks his foot in the ground and makes you miss. And next thing you know, he's loose in the secondary. And combined with his elusiveness is the fact that they were blocking us up front. And I thought that's where they won the game.
We saw Rob Jackson come in and play a lot toward the end of the game. Was there anything wrong with Malik, or just trying to get guys more reps?
We were trying a lot of things. I think Coach Brown called about every defense on the sheet, trying to put some guys in there to try to make plays. I mean, whenever you're playing a team and it's not going your way, I mean, you're going to try to do a lot of things, I think, to try to make something to be able to slow them down. And we were not successful at doing that.
Kind of going off that second straight week, struggling with the quarterback runs, have you been able to pinpoint what the issue was there? Because it seemed like it was more design stuff this week compared to him scrambling.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a couple of the outside zone read plays that got us in the first half, and then I think he scored in the second half on that particular play. I mean, when you're splitting the defense in half like that, you're going to be limited in what you have for the quarterback. And some of those calls, it may be one guy, not one guy's got to make the play. And if he doesn't make the play, then it looks bad because there's nobody else there. Because you obviously got to respect the outside zone with the other running back. So in some cases it was that. Some cases we had guys there, we just didn't make the tackle. I know the scramble he had in the second half, our threats is right there. We just didn't make the tackle. DP on the other side on one of the zone room keeps. I mean, so if you one-on-one, you got to be able to get them down. Get them down for the next down.
Obviously, they blocked you guys up front really well. Was that lack of execution, or was it what you said about the offense not being able to stand the field?
It's hard to say until you go back and watch the film. Are we, where we're supposed to be? Are we trying to get to the gaps we're supposed to be at? I didn't think our linebackers played great today either. Because it was all of them. It was the O-line, D-line, and D-line, linebackers, and secondary. There wasn't much that went right tonight. If anytime you're giving up over 600 yards, you didn't do anything good on either level. So it was bad.
You mentioned earlier in the week about the matchup between Zach Frazier and Dante Corleone. Just your thoughts on how Dante handled a center like that? Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to just isolate on the center and the nose. When you're trying to watch the game and figure out what's happening. So, we'll have to go back and look and see how that matchup worked out, because we do think the center was really good. Coming into this game. So, we'll see how that matched up and see how Dante ended up playing.
On a positive note, Kim Willis gets another interception this week. What have you seen from these younger guys as they've gotten extended reps?
Yeah, I mean, we've had to throw those guys in. You certainly don't want to have to play, the young guys like that, and but they're learning on the job, and it was good to see him get a pick there in the red zone. It was a big time play for it not to hold up, at least not let them score on that drive. And then the offense came out and went down and scored. It was a really good, section right there when you think about an interception and driving and scoring. That's kind of what we needed in the first half. Slow down some of that momentum. We never got that, never gained that. But those young players are, each time they get an opportunity, they'll make a few mistakes, but they're learning, they're growing, and hopefully they'll continue to grow and be better so that they don't make those again.
Shimon flashed again tonight, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, Peyton wasn't able to go. Yeah. Do you just have an update on Peyton Singletary at all?
Yeah, Peyton's he'll probably be done because I don't think he's going to be able to get back this week either. I think his lower leg injury. So. And really, Shimon's kind of banged up as well. That tight end room's kind of been banged up in the last 2 weeks. So that's something we'll have to monitor. Shimon was limited to practice this week. Was able to get out there and go. And then I thought he blocked good. And then also, obviously catching 2 touchdowns. Those were, two well-designed plays. He's wide open on both. And we just threw it, a good throw and catch. And, just sorry we didn't get those plays earlier.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks, sir.
Thanks, guys.